So now that we know the basics of the coordinate plane, let's go ahead and use that to graph some real world data. So here I've got some population statistics from the U.S. Census Bureau. This is the United States domestic population between 1910 and 2010. So if I want to graph this, I have two things I really need to do right away. And that's to decide what is going to be the x-axis and what is going to be the y-axis. I'm going to go ahead and make time the x-axis and population the y-axis. And if you wonder if it's important that it's one way or the other, it is. But for right now, we don't really need to worry about that. Once we start learning about functions and the properties of them, we'll go ahead and go into it. But for right now, just pick either one. I'm just going to do time for the x-axis. So now that I have decided what each axis is going to be, I need to decide the scale. So here I have time, so I need to decide whether I want to count in years, 10 years, 100 years, 2 minutes. Just do whatever makes sense. Here we have 1910 through 2010. So I could do 10 or 20, and that would probably be fine. So I'm going to go ahead and do by tens. 1900, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 2000, 10. And now I need to decide what my scale is going to be for the population. Oh, this is in millions, by the way. I probably should have said something. Million. There's definitely more than 92 people in 1910 and more than 308 in 2010. But anyways, now I got to make a scale for the y-axis, and I can do a lot of different things. I can count in 10 millions. I can do 20, 50, 100. But I'm just going to do 50. You can be more precise if you like. I mean, it really all just depends on the level of precision you want. And here, they're pretty far apart. So I'm just going to do 50. So 50 million, 100 million, 150 million, 200 million, 250 million, 300 million, 350 million. So now that I have my x-axis, I've got my y-axis, I have my scale for my x-axis, I have my scale for my y-axis. Now all I got to do is just graph the points. So I have 1910, I got 92 million. So I'm going to go up here and a little bit below the 100, so there we go, that's the first one. Next one, 1930, 123 million. 1930, 123. So we'll do a little bit, we'll do kind of in between the 100 and 150. Like I said, I could have made this more precise. I could have divided up into it by 20 millions, but then I'd have had to make some more numbers, and I just did not want to be belabored by the points. So we have 1950 now. So that one's a nice and easy one. It's right there. 1970, 203. So that is there. 1990, 250. Well, actually, the rest of these turned out pretty convenient. Definitely did not plan that. And 2008, I'm sorry, 2010, we have 308. So there we go. And you can connect them if you want. Make bars. It could be a scatter plot. It really depends on the information. Just do whatever makes the most sense, and that's what all these kind of beginning graph things are about. Just plotting points, just making scales that make sense, and again, like I said, we'll learn in the future why it's important that time is usually the x-axis and everything else is usually the y-axis. But there could be a lot of different things. You can compare anything. It could be time versus money, age versus height, Um, yeah, it could be something ridiculous even. It could be, you know, number of times Rocky was punched in the face versus ticket sales. I mean, it's just there's limitless applications for this. So, anyways, that'll probably be it for the graphing problems. If anyone has any extra questions on graphing, I'm probably not going to do any more problems on it. But again, if anyone's having any trouble, make sure you definitely do not hesitate to ask. I will keep doing problems until everyone gets it. So if there's something you don't get, or if you want me to do some other coordinate plane problems, maybe in fractions or in other things, I'll do that. So just let me know.